So Time to Change was set up as a social enterprise 10 years ago. We wanted to tackle poverty and homelessness locally within our own community. So one of our first projects is Calderwood House, where you are at the moment. And this is an old police station that was leased to us on a peppercorn rent for 25 years. We raised grant funding, including a large capital grant by Copeland Community Fund, and we opened up Calderwood House in 2015. So I'm Rachel Holliday and I work for Time to Change West Cumbria project. So we have 24-hour staff support on site. We get referrals in through by the local council for anyone who is homeless, usually over the age of 25. But we do prioritise veterans, so the British Legion can refer directly into us. The eldest person that we ever had was 89 years old and he was a veteran. We have people who have been teachers, ex-police officers. There's a whole array of different reasons why people will find themselves with nowhere to live, usually like a relationship breakdown, a divorce. It could be some children who may be coming out through the care system who are leaving care and they're older now. Yeah, lots of different reasons. So we always have a very mixed group of people in Calderwood House. Some do have addictions and some don't. Some may have mental health issues or learning difficulties. It really is just a mixed bag. When people come to Calderwood House, they'll have a key worker nominated to them, and that key worker will help them with all different aspects within their life, but mainly to be moving on into their own housing. So that's what we do best. As an emergency homeless hostel, we normally only allow people to stay up to 3 months, but what we've found is that it's a real struggle to move people on into accommodation due to the lack of housing that we have in the area. So we're finding that people are staying longer and longer, sadly, but we are working with our Cumberland Council, the local authority, to try and address those issues. So we have our very own outreach worker, Carla, who will get to know the client when they're in the hostel, and then once they secure their own property, she will work with them in their home to make sure that they're able to sustain their tenancy and just get everything they need for their house to be able to move on to a better, brighter life. So since we've opened in 2015, we've helped over 400 people who've been through the doors of Calderwood House. So Copeland Community Fund are an excellent local supporter of ours and have always given us grant money and support over the years. One of the grants that they have given us recently is a 3-year grant for our support worker wages. So that's been absolutely brilliant for us to be able to pay our staff for the next 3 years. Is just amazing. The other fund that they gave us money for was an emergency household fund. So what we recognised was when people are moving on from Calderwood House, the cost of living crisis that's come about, how much food costs, electric, a lot of the properties that we get, there's nothing in them, so there's no carpets, there's no washing machines. So we were able to, with Copeland Community Fund grant, help people set up their own homes, so we were able to buy those items for that person. So I'd like to think within 15 years' time we've totally solved our homelessness crisis that we have locally. We don't have a lot of homelessness in our area, so it really is achievable to be able to fix this problem. So I would like to see Calderwood House shut down within 15 years.
Been here since June, so I've been here a few months, but I struggled with addiction, but because I've been in prison a very long time, since 2016, so when I got out I had no support, no network, so I struggled. I find it really hard to cope with everyday tasks, but the work I've been doing in here is brilliantly. The helpers, like, I'm hopefully moving on to the next property. I'm hopefully moving on to there where they can help us, and I'll have support of Carla. But my work has helped me with my addiction and learning everyday things. Every day is a learning curve. So if I ask staff questions all the time, but it's because I don't know how to do it. Cooking, doing everyday tasks, going doing community work. I'm doing a speech on the 8th of March at the golf club about tackling crime, or being locked up females. How many females commit crime? So I'm doing that, my first talk. The property that we're moving in, I'm still going to have 24-hour support because I need that support. If I moved into my own flat, I would struggle. I like being around, I'm a people person, so they're going to support us in there. I'll still have 24-hour support of them, which is great, isn't it? I need that. Oh, Rachel and Carla will help, but so will the staff when you move on. Right. To help you, because I'll struggle with carpets, not water. I've never done all this before. They help us with my bills and not like money. Yeah. So when I move on, they'll help us get stuff, so I don't have to worry about that. and if I struggle, I can always come back and get support. I would have been on the streets. I probably would have been in jail or dead. I probably would have been dead if I didn't come to Calderwood. I love it here, me. I do. The staff are brilliant.
I was in there 15 months because of COVID and that. So we had 5 lockdowns, that's why I couldn't go any further. Ex-military, so that's why I had priority to come in here. But I was homeless before then. Well, after COVID, they found me a 2-bedroom flat for me and my little boy, so that was good help. And then I had to wait next to 6 months, and then COVID lockdown come in again, so I had to wait some more for the workers. And since being in there, they've been great there, Calderwood. They've helped me out with carpets and everything, and like spots hoses, or even if like short with food or anything like that, they always say those always open, so it's been brilliant. Well, like you say, I was in there 15 months. Like, I'd do anything I could. Like, we've even got our own allotment, so we could grow our own products, so... Well, anything I've needed, like I've always got the support of the support that's here. Like, I even come up last week because I had an issue, which, in my own words, I would have just put it to one side, but like you say, I come by and helped us out with that. And that was only just last week, so it's been brilliant.
Yeah, I ended up in my current situation because my partner was an alcoholic. She passed away from it. The house was in her name, not mine, and her adult children wanted me out of the property so they could sell it. So I was out of the door, and I lost my property. I couldn't get in the house neither, so I had all that held back from me. But I've came here, as I said, I was referred here by the council in the Royal British Legion, and they've helped me get my life together the best they can. But the system as it is, the local government, they don't prioritise adult men as well as they would somebody else, like a young woman or a pregnant lady. So it isn't easy for me to get rehoused. Yeah, the staff, they've helped me do paperwork to get me onto the system for housing and also benefits, because it's a bit of a thing to get your head round. But they've helped me with all the paperwork, posting it, and any problems that have happened in between, you know, when they come back and they say you need to do this, you need to do that, but they've done the best they can with that. I am having help for talking therapies from a post PTSD, and that's ongoing, but the staff here, they're very attentive, they do what they can all the time they're here, they try their best, and they can't ask any more from them really. I mean, there's anything in the day, if you've got a little problem, they will try and go out of their way to help you the best they can. There's a shortage of properties. Obviously, a man like myself, it needs to be a 1-bedroom property because of bedroom tax, but the staff help you apply for properties, but they also have what's an affordability check to see that when you get out of here you can keep up with your bills and stay in front and not end up in this same situation again. I'd just like to say thank you for all the staff do here for us, because you know, it's a vocation more than a job. You know, you have to have a special mindset to do this kind of job, and you know they do all the time. Nothing's ever too much, you know. And I'd just like to say a massive thank you for what they do for all of us here.
So quite a few years ago, my mum passed away. Life sort of got on top of me. I went into a really dark place. Felt like everything or anything that I wanted was just going wrong. I had a lot of pressures. I was working at the time. COVID hit. We ended up getting furloughed. Still found it really hard because at the time where I was living was due to be sold. And obviously when my mum died, I sort of put my head in the sand. And my boss gave me enough time to find somewhere, but where things were with COVID, it was like really difficult. I tried private lets, a landlord was dragging his feet. Eventually, when all come to all, I ended up having to stop sofa surf. And we'd been there for quite a while. I felt like no one stayed me welcome, and it was a case of I just started getting on top and like, I don't know what to do. I ended up being street homeless for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I was getting soakings on a daily basis. one particular day I decided, right, I've had enough of this, I need to sort my life out. So I phoned up one of the homeless shelters. They said they couldn't accommodate me that night, but they could put me in contact with somebody in the morning. Citizens Advice Bureau rang me and gave me a number that would be ringing me, which was Calderwood House. They rang me that day, said, where Calderwood House, where the at is, I'm in Whitehaven, or we're situated in Egremont. So can you get through? I said, yeah, I'll have to walk through, but I can get through. So I ended up coming through. I came in, I got a warm meal, I got a nice hot cup of coffee, and then from there I was given a couple of days to find my feet. And then obviously we started looking at finding accommodation and going through the process of getting myself back in, because obviously when I was homeless, everywhere was closed, so there was nowhere you could go. Everywhere you had to phone, and 9 times out of 10 you couldn't get through. So I was in here, obviously again, we went back into the second wave of COVID, so we were all sort of separated. So within my past job was being a chef, so I was able to do all the meals while everybody was in the room. I'd taken them up to the rooms. We just sort of kept social distancing. And I noticed when I was doing stuff that I found that a lot of the staff here had a lot on the plate, so they weren't able to concentrate on the little things. So I thought, well, I'll do that. Keeps me on my toes, keeps my mind occupied. And then I found out I was getting a place. One of the ladies here had put me in contact with somebody and they said, there's a property, we know the guy, we'll give you a good reference. Do you want to go and have a look at it? So I went round, had a look at it. It was a 2-bedroom. It was a shell. It needed redecorated and refurbished. So that took like a month and a half. Then once that was ready, I left. I went round, Rachel and all, and helped me out, get me on my feet. So I said I wanted to come back as a volunteer because I felt that if I hadn't came here when I did, I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd be doing this. So I wanted to give something back. So I came back and I started as a volunteer, and I've been actually employed as a full-time member. So because of my job, I'm like a nutrition and healthy eating coach. So people who can't cook and eat properly, I sort of give them the better life skills so that when they move on, they're able to do it for themselves. Because what you find is a lot of a homeless person will never tell you they're homeless. Because with some people will, some people won't. A lot of them won't because they're embarrassed. Because they think they've done something wrong. It might just be the stupidest thing of an oversight on a bill and to the private landlord and to kick them out. Just the littlest things, but then sometimes it can be addictions like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling addictions, anything. But the reality of it is, when you come here, we're all in the same place, we're all in the same boat. And for me, even though you can have a different reason why you're here, we all want the same thing. We all want to be able to go back into society, and sometimes you sort of shut yourself up through everything. So your self-esteem is gone, your confidence lowers. The simplest things that you would think to do, you forget about because you're more concentrating on what you have to do, like where am I going to live. I mean, it's okay in summertime because you can sleep out on the fields, lovely. But when you hit October, November, December, that's the time that I was there. It's horrible. It's horrible. Even though you think Whitehaven is a big area, somewhere to private to sleep rough, it's very difficult to find. That you feel safe anyways.